Every series in the NBA playoffs has played at least one game, and there's 3 games from Saturday and Sunday's slate that really stood out to me. The Knicks vs. Sixers, the Lakers vs. Nuggets, and the Mavericks vs. Clippers. So today, I'm going to go through these 3 games and analyze what went right, what went wrong, and how either team can win their respective series. But before we get started, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe to the channel as we are on the road to 500 subscribers. It would be greatly appreciated and help promote this channel to NBA fans like you. So leave a like and subscribe, and let's get into it by talking about the Knicks vs. Sixers. The inspiration for this video actually came from my rewatch of the Sixers and Knicks game, because this game perfectly told a story that was my fear for a certain team coming into this series. See, the 76ers got off to a hot start in the first quarter and led by 9 going into the second quarter. But things completely 180'd when Embiid sat on the bench to start the second quarter, and that started a 15-6 run by the Knicks for the next 6 minutes that ultimately led to the game being tied when Embiid re-entered the game. Just hearing that alone should tell you all you need to know about Embiid's impact. But watching it just made me wonder how this team won games when Embiid was out for 2 months. Just listen to these possessions from the start of the second quarter to when Embiid subbed back in. Maxey missed 3, Batum turnover, Harris missed 3, Harris missed 2, Reed makes a putback layup. Hield missed 2, Reed makes a putback layup, Maxey makes a floater, Maxey misses a 2, Maxey misses a 3, and a Harris offensive foul. So in a nearly 6-minute stretch, the Sixers went 3 for 9 from the field with 2 turnovers. That is completely unacceptable considering the talent the Sixers put out on the floor. And what really swung the game to the Knicks' favor was when Embiid went down with an injury late in that same quarter, and the Knicks' 5-point lead with 2:49 left in the quarter went up to a 12-point lead by halftime. For the entire second quarter, the Knicks outscored the 76ers 33-12. And in order to win these types of close games, you can't afford to be neutralized when your star is off the court. Take for instance the Denver Nuggets games versus the Lakers. When Jokic was off the court, Denver didn't just collapse. They kept the game close and only got outscored by 2 points in the 6-minute stretch where Jokic was off the court in the second quarter. And this is where I challenged Tyrese Maxey to step up. Because as great as he's been this entire season, he was almost non-existent when Embiid was on the bench. And when the Sixers needed him to step up in that second quarter, he went 2 for 9 from the field and 1 for 4 from 3. What I'd like Maxey to do is watch Jamal Murray's second quarter in the Lakers-Nuggets game and study what he did. Because while Murray's shots weren't going in, he was leading the team on both sides of the ball by creating open looks and being a vocal leader. If Maxey can deliver when Embiid is on the bench, I have no doubt that the Sixers can steal game 2. But it will all depend on the health of Joel Embiid, who did not look the best after his scary injury in the second quarter. See, we always hear of the heroics of a player who fought through injuries to win a game, like Michael Jordan's flu game, or Isaiah Thomas's sprained ankle game, or even Giannis's 2021 title run. We like to prop up these players for playing through injury, but rarely do we talk about the players who unfortunately re-aggravate their injury. And it looks like Embiid did just that in this game, and as a result, looked a lot slower and not ready to play. And unfortunately for him, his fourth quarter that consisted of 0 for 5 from the field and 0 for 2 from 3 won't help him in his quest to make a conference finals appearance. But while many are talking about the Sixers' performance, I want to give some props to the Knicks, who won this game despite the Jalen Brunson stinker game. I want to give some major props to Josh Hart and Miles McBride for making some big 3-pointers when New York needed it most. What this game came down to for the Knicks was playing that hard-nosed style of ball we're all accustomed to seeing from them. Holding a team with high-powered scorers like Embiid and Maxey to 104 points is extremely impressive, and I'd say the biggest reason why the Knicks got the job done was rebounding. New York boasted a 55-33 rebounding advantage and a 23-9 offensive rebounding advantage over the Sixers, and creating those extra possessions and scoring 26 second chance points was huge. If you're a Knicks fan, you have to be pumped knowing that you beat the Sixers even with Brunson's 8 for 26 shooting night. But if you're a Sixers fan, you still have every right to believe they can pull off the upset, as the odds of Josh Hart and Miles McBride combining for 43 points in another game are pretty slim. I truly think this series could go either way, but as I said before this series started, the Sixers will need Joel Embiid at full health to stand a chance, and honestly, I don't think that's much of a possibility as of right now. Now let's talk about Saturday's night game between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Denver Nuggets. The final score of 114-103 won't do justice to how well both sides were playing this game, as even when it looked like Denver was taking control, LA would continuously fight back and make the home crowd sweat. Let's talk about the Lakers first, and let me say, this loss can almost entirely be attributed to D'Angelo Russell. In my predictions video from a couple days ago, I said that a key to this series would be D'Lo, especially after his stinker of a series last season. And while almost every other player on this team thrived offensively, it was D'Lo who shot 6 for 20 from the field and 1 for 9 from 3. And it's not like the majority of these looks were contested. A lot of those threes were wide open and just off. The Lakers obviously need D'Lo to perform as well as he did in the regular season to win this series. But on a more broad note, the Lakers can't afford to turn the ball over 12 times compared to Denver's 4 times. And while LeBron played an incredible game offensively, the only blemish on his box score was the 7 turnovers that came during crucial points of the game. But even with that, this game was extremely winnable for the Lakers. But what's going to need to change for Game 2 is their play when Jokic is on the bench. I know I just complimented Jamal Murray for his play without Jokic, but the Lakers really need to capitalize on the best player in the world being on the bench, and there's a simple solution. The 4 times AD took a shot in that time period, he made 2 of them and was fouled on the other 2. He scored 8 points in the span of 3 minutes, didn't miss a shot, and was all around dominating DeAndre Jordan. But instead of continuously feeding him and making the Nuggets adjust, they settled at the beginning of the second and only started attacking Jordan right before he got subbed out. It felt like a wasted opportunity, and in order for the Lakers to keep this a series, they need to attack when Jokic is off the court. As for the Nuggets, they played like the defending champs tonight, because even when the Lakers had the lead, and even when LA fought back, Denver always felt in control and time again set up the best shot possible. I don't need to talk about Jokic playing otherworldly or Jamal Murray being Jamal Murray. Instead, what I want to talk about tonight was the Nuggets' effort. Because even in a game where they committed 20 fouls and allowed the Lakers to shoot 19 free throws to their 6, the Nuggets won the 2 most important battles of the night, and that's the offensive rebound battle and the turnover battle. I mentioned the turnover factor earlier with the Lakers, but let me say that the Nuggets committing only 4 turnovers in an NBA game is extremely good. And limiting those fast break opportunities for a player who thrives in the downhill in LeBron James really proved to be a key factor on Saturday. But the most impressive part of this to me was the offensive rebounding difference, as Denver captured 15 on the offensive glass to the Lakers 6. And as a result, they scored 18 second chance points to the Lakers 8. It's the effort plays and consistency on the offensive glass that will win you a basketball game. And the Nuggets and aforementioned Knicks did that at an elite level. This series is certainly not over, as one D'Lo 30-point game could easily make this a 1-1 series heading to LA. But if the Nuggets continue to perform as they did on Saturday, we may be looking at a quick series. Now let's focus our attention on the other team in LA, as the Clippers completely dominated the Mavericks on Sunday to steal Game 1 despite Kawhi not playing. I want to give my flowers to the Clippers, especially for their defense, which limited Dallas to 30 points in the first half and allowed only 10 made threes from 33 attempted. And the catalyst to all this was Terrence Mann and Amir Coffey, who had the Luka and Kyrie defensive matchup. And after a year full of domination and overall excellent play from Doncic, he looked awful against Mann. And this wasn't your regular star player can't get anything to go game. I attribute Luka's struggles to Terrence Mann, as he was keeping up with Luka and denying him any easy shots. And as a result, Luka shot 2 for 9 from the field with Mann guarding him. And this just proved everyone's concerns for the Mavericks to be true. If Luka and Kyrie can't get it going, who's going to step up? And in Game 1, nobody stepped up, and as a result, they were down by 26 points going into halftime. And besides Luka's struggles, the Mavericks could not defend the paint at all, allowing Zubac to dominate Gafford and Lively and open their offense up. It was a complete masterclass by the Clippers on Sunday, and their efforts ultimately may make it so that Kawhi gets another game of rest before coming back for Game 3. And if you're the Mavericks and Kawhi doesn't play in Game 2, you have to take advantage of the situation and play the level of basketball we've been seeing them play since the All-Star break. I'd say the biggest thing I would like to see Dallas work on in their game plan is opening the floor up more and relying less on isolation basketball. It's obviously hard to completely adjust your game plan and turn away from the ISOs considering you have 2 of the best isolation basketball players in the world. but in Game 1, their isolation attempts were quickly thwarted by the Clippers' excellent switching abilities and help defense. Because even if Luka got Zubac or Plumlee on an island, LA found a way to make sure he couldn't take advantage of that matchup. And if LA continues to play elite defense, Dallas is going to need to switch some things up. And lastly, let me say something about Luka and Kyrie. As I've said before, they are great isolation players, and when their shots go in, their offense looks incredible. But when you have days like Sunday, where things just aren't going their way, Dallas plays the most frustrating style of basketball you will see. Because instead of adjusting and getting their teammates involved, Luka or Kyrie, whichever one has the ball at the time, will go to work one-on-one and make everyone else just sit at the three-point line or dunker spot, including whichever one of Luka or Kyrie that doesn't have the ball. What I'd like to see from Dallas is their two stars showing off the playmaking skills I know they have. Get the open looks from three for the role players and instill confidence in them so the Clippers have to adjust their defensive game plan. If they can do that, I have no doubt in my mind the Mavericks can tie this series up heading back to Dallas. But if Kawhi comes back and the Mavs' offensive struggles continue, you can chalk this series up. Make sure to comment down below your thoughts on these series and what team you think is in the most trouble as of now. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this one for the rest of the series in the playoffs. So with that, I'm Julian with Talkback Sports, and I'll see you next time.